In the annals of English folklore, one of the most enduring and perplexing tales is that of the Green Children of Woolpit. The story, set in the 12th century, tells of the mysterious appearance of two children with green-tinged skin in the village of Woolpit, Suffolk. Despite their ostensibly alien appearance and unfamiliar language, the two children were recognizably human, sparking speculation and intrigue that persists to this day. In the small English village of Woolpit, nestled in the county of Suffolk, an extraordinary story began to unfold during the reign of King Stephen. The tale, passed down through generations, was preserved in the writings of two notable chroniclers, William of Newburgh and Ralph of Coggeshall. According to their accounts, two unusual children, a brother and a sister, seemingly appeared out of nowhere by one of the village's wolf pits, from which Woolpit derives its name. Their skin bore a strange, green hue, unlike anything the villagers had ever seen. Their clothes were made of unfamiliar materials, and they spoke an unknown language that no one could understand. Naturally, confusion and intense curiosity ensued amongst the locals as they tried to decipher the origin of these mysterious children. A bewildering pair arrived in the village, bringing with them an air of profound mystery that seemed to pervade every corner. Their presence incited hushed whispers of conjecture and baffled glances from all who saw them. Equally puzzling was the children's steadfast refusal to eat. Despite their apparent hunger, they rejected all types of food offered to them, a strange behavior that only deepened the intrigue surrounding their sudden appearance. That is, until they came across raw broad beans, which they consumed with an eager, desperate hunger. This bizarre dietary preference seemed to underline a single, inescapable fact: these children were truly strangers in a strange land. Over time, the children gradually adapted to different foods, and they even lost their peculiar green complexion. Tragically, the boy, weakened by this new and foreign environment, failed to thrive and passed away. The girl, however, managed to survive. As the years passed, she learned to speak English. And when she grew older, she finally relayed the story of her origin to the captivated villagers. Her account of her homeland, a place she called St. Martin's Land, only fueled the mystery further. She described a world with no sun, perpetually bathed in a dim, twilight-like glow, where every single inhabitant shared the same green hue that she and her brother once had. The girl weaved an intriguing narrative, one that was almost otherworldly in its essence. She recalled that one day, while tending to their father's livestock, they stumbled upon a vast, hidden cavern. Led by a faint, enchanting sound of bells echoing from within, they ventured deep inside the mysterious passage. However, when they finally emerged on the other side, they were met with an overwhelming onslaught of unfamiliar sensations. Instead of the perpetual twilight that shrouded their homeland, they were suddenly bathed in the bright, blinding sunlight of the English countryside near Woolpit. The children, completely disoriented and terrified, had unwittingly crossed a boundary into a world that was starkly, and fundamentally, different from their own. In her adulthood, the Green Girl, according to some accounts, came to be known as Agnes Barr. This new name signaled her successful and profound assimilation into 12th century English society. It was an extraordinary transformation, especially when one considered her enigmatic origins and the utterly unconventional circumstances of her first appearance in Woolpit. Agnes's integration was further exemplified by her marriage to a man of considerable status, Richard Barr, a prominent royal official hailing from King's Lynn. This union was not merely a personal milestone, it was a powerful testament to her complete social acceptance and served to further distance her from the inexplicable mysteries of her past. Despite her peculiar origins, it seems the girl was able to carve out a normal life for herself in this strange new world. However, specific details about her life post-marriage are not well documented. There are no further narratives or records that provide insight into her life as Richard's wife, whether they had children, or what ultimately became of her. The anonymity and normality she seems to have found, after such an unusual childhood, only adds to the enduring mystery and intrigue of this tale. We can only infer that she led a relatively ordinary life as a 12th century woman in England, blending into society despite her extraordinary beginnings. The captivating narrative of the Green Children of Woolpit continues to puzzle historians and the public alike, given the many enigmas it presents. Even after centuries have passed since the tale first emerged, numerous aspects of the story remain shrouded in mystery. A plethora of theories have been proposed over the years, attempting to unravel the truth behind this perplexing tale. These theories, while varied and often speculative, each endeavor to shed light on the peculiar circumstances, their unearthly hue, their initial inability to consume ordinary food, their foreign language, and their account of an otherworldly homeland. Today, Some believe the tale of the Green Children of Woolpit is purely allegorical. It's thought to symbolize the emergence of prehistoric inhabitants into a newly Norman-populated Britain. The children's strange language and green coloration represent their lack of sophistication and learning, with the girls' eventual assimilation reflecting their inevitable integration into the new society. However, we must view this story through the lens of its time, the 12th century. England was then steeped in a rich tapestry of folklore, superstition, and deep religious belief. The supernatural was an intrinsic part of daily life, and many people genuinely believed in the existence of creatures like elves, sprites, and other mystical entities. Therefore, it's no surprise that more fantastic theories also exist. One compelling suggestion, drawn from Celtic folklore, is that the children were changelings, supernatural beings left in place of stolen human children by fairies. And in the most outlandish of interpretations, some conjecture that the children were not of our world at all, but rather extraterrestrial beings who had mistakenly found themselves stranded on Earth. The most compelling hypothesis posits that the siblings were not of this world at all, but residents of a distant planet. This alien environment could have possessed unique atmospheric conditions, which might perfectly account for their peculiar, green complexion. Alternatively, other theorists look not to the stars, but deep beneath our feet. Proponents of the hollow Earth theory suggest the children may have emerged from a hidden, subterranean realm within our own planet. This isolated world could have developed entirely unique environmental and biological factors, resulting in the children's startling green hue. Then, there is a more historically grounded hypothesis. This theory argues that the children were simply Flemish immigrants, possibly from a nearby village called Fornham St. Martin, where a known Flemish community resided. This would handily explain why the language they spoke was completely unrecognizable to the townsfolk of Woolpit. They were likely speaking a medieval dialect of Dutch. As for the mystery of their green skin, the answer may lie in a medical condition. It could have been the result of what we now diagnose as hypochromic anemia, a condition caused by severe malnutrition. Historically, this very ailment was referred to as chlorosis, or green sickness, named for the distinct, pale greenish tint it could impart to a patient's skin. Beyond their distinctive green coloration, individuals with this condition often exhibit a range of symptoms, including chronic fatigue, shortness of breath, indigestion, headaches, and a notably inconsistent or reduced appetite. This could very well explain the children's initial aversion to food. While this theory applies a more scientific lens to the mystery of the Green Children of Woolpit, it's important to note that there are medically documented cases of people with unusual skin colors throughout history. A prime example is the Blue Fugits, often called the Blue People of Kentucky. They were an Appalachian family who carried a unique genetic trait that resulted in strikingly blue skin. This rare condition, which can be traced back to the Fugate family settlement near Hazard, Kentucky, around 1820, was caused by a blood disorder known as methemoglobinemia. Essentially, methemoglobinemia causes the body to produce an abnormal amount of methemoglobin, a form of hemoglobin. While normal hemoglobin is red and carries oxygen, the presence of methemoglobin turns the blood a bluish chocolate-brown color, which then shows through the skin as a distinct blue hue. The family's remarkable story gained widespread attention in the early 1960s when several of its members were studied by Dr. Madison Cawen, a hematologist from the University of Kentucky. After extensive research and blood testing, Dr. Cawen was able to trace the Fugate family's unique condition to a rare blood disorder known as methemoglobinemia. While the exact cause behind the Green Children of Woolpit's peculiar skin color remains an unsolved mystery, the story of the Blue Fugits demonstrates that such rare medical anomalies can and do occur. This compelling parallel begs the question, could the Green Children have suffered from a similar, mysterious affliction? The tale of the Green Children of Woolpit is an enigmatic narrative, steeped in mystery and centuries of speculation. Whether interpreted as extraterrestrial visitors, disoriented immigrants from a distant land, or a fascinating scientific anomaly, their story offers a tantalizing glimpse into how our ancestors struggled to explain the unexplainable. It's a legend that continues to captivate our curiosity and fuel our imagination even today. While we may never uncover the definitive truth behind this strange account, the tale, a unique blend of the fantastic, the earthly, and the profoundly uncanny, endures. It remains a fascinating relic of a bygone era, a strange, green thread forever woven into the rich tapestry of human history.